How are we doing today, all you wonderful people? My name is Nightshade, and I'd like to welcome you back to another episode of Let's Play Monster Hunter World. In the last episode, we went on our first expedition and managed to hunt our first Kulu Yaku. In this episode, we hope to hunt a Pukei-Pukei, which it's a funny name. It sounds Hawaiian to me. Now you'll notice that we didn't start off in the house this time, and that's because I messed up with the PS4 share and accidentally clicked only once instead of twice to save the recording. But you only missed like the commander telling us, hey, good job on the last quest, now here's another one to go do. So yeah, I'll see you in a minute. Alrighty then, let's get this party started, shall we?
Oh yeah.
Pukei-Pukei prefers a plant-based diet, eh? So it's an herbivore. Gotta eat the well-done steak. No hunter ever kills anything with an empty stomach, you know. Get our supplies like normal. How are you doing, my furry friend? I feel like I've improved a lot today. I hope you'll bring me along in the next outing, too. That's just the option to leave your palico behind, but why would you do that? It's a cute furry friend that will follow you to the Earth's end. Yeah, you can, use these vines to get across to places. Excuse me, if you heard that. That was me burping. Yeah. Another thing you'll notice, I picked the other spawn camp as well, just to mix things up. I thought the Pukei-Pukei was going to be somewhere in the jungle. I think it is, but I end up going in the, wrong direction for a little bit, but there's a good reason why I'm not cutting here. Oh, there is a good reason. You'll see here in a little bit. Just get some blue mushrooms. You always want to not rush and just take your time. I mean, you got 50 minutes, so why not gather as much as you can. I don't know what effect that Wiggy Lychee just gave me, but I'll look it up later. Oh, and another thing you'll notice is that the weather won't be the same. Like, sometimes it'll be raining. Sometimes it'll be sunny. I don't know if they had that in for Ultimate. Do you see that right there? That's a Rathalos, yeah. Yeah, you don't want to mess with that. I freaked out. Yeah, like, this is another big gameplay mechanic of Monster Hunter World. It's not just the monster that you're hunting that can appear in the quest anymore. It can be a number of different monsters, and you'll see I run into at least one or two more monsters on the way to finding the Pukei-Pukei. But yeah, normally that is reserved for just high rank and G rank. But no, now it's low rank as well, which I find is actually a really good breath of fresh air for the series. Just getting some footprints. That's a vitality plant, which if you cut that out, it'll restore some of your health. It's great for if you're running low on potions or you just want to conserve a potion. I love little cape that the Great Jagras armor gives you. Excuse me. I love the rain, just how it looks. Yeah, I think weather is new to the Monster Hunter series, I want to say. Post down in the comments below if I'm wrong on this one. But if you look closely, you can actually see the rain droplets on your character's armor, which I thought was a very, very nice attention to detail. Yeah, I'm just trying to look at the map and trying to get my bearings here a little bit. But you know what? Since I'm just wandering around in the forest trying to find the Pukei-Pukei, now I think would be a good time to go over what we didn't do last episode, which was the bio for the Pukei-Pukei. Cue music. Alright, so first up on the bio list is the Pukei-Pukei. Now, the Pukei-Pukei is a bird wyvern, which I believe is a new species to Monster Hunter. It's like, take a toucan and a velociraptor, put those two together and you get the Pukei-Pukei. Anyways, its habitats are the ancient forest, obviously, and the wildspire waste, which we haven't gotten to yet, but we will next episode. Anyways, the weakness for it is a water elemental weapon, so if you happen to fight the Pukei-Pukei with a water elemental weapon, know that you'll do more damage to it. The element, it doesn't have any elements. It also doesn't have any ailments, although if you get hit one too many times by the Pukei-Pukei's quick attacks, and its attacks do come out pretty fast, so you have to be careful about that. You can get stunned, and then you have to repeatedly press the L3 button, or just shake it around. For the breaks on this particular monster, you can break its head and you can break its arms. You can also use a slinger to knock the rock out of its hands, because it will use the rock as a shield to deflect any damage that you might do to it. Let's see here. It also likes to hang out in the more forested areas of the ancient forest, so not like the more grassy type plain areas of the ancient forest. For weak signs, it limps, and I think it also drools as well. The only attacks that I would be careful of is that it has a leaping attack that can catch you off guard. So I would recommend putting enough distance to where it won't apply to you, or wait until your feline distracts the Pukei-Pukei and then use that opportunity to either heal or sharpen your weapon. Anyways, I think that about sums up the Pukei-Pukei as a monster. Really nice design, really interesting for Monster Hunter. Again, another simple monster. I don't have very much to say about it. So that basically takes care of the first monster on the list today. With that taken care of, we run into our first set of skid marks. But not for the Pukei-Pukei. Oh no, that's a Rathalos. Just when you run into a Rathalos, get the heck out of there. Oh, and here's the part where I mentioned earlier, where multiple monsters can come out on one quest at the same time. It's really just makes the world of Monster Hunter World feel 10 times more organic. It's a very nice design choice. So I'm just like getting the heck out of there because that's a whole lot of nope in one area. I'm pretty sure Rathalos at this point in the game can just two-shot you. Props to anyone who's insane enough to try and kill that Rathalos. And there's the Pukei-Pukei. So, you know, we might as well get the bio done right now. Again, cue music. Okay, so here we have our last monster of the day, which unlike the Kuliaku, is actually somewhat threatening. Go figure, right? So the Pukei-Pukei is a bird wyvern. Its habitat is the ancient forest. This monster takes on the appearance of a flying chameleon, which I think is interesting. It fits, it really does fit in the ancient forest, because it has a bunch of shades of green that it can use for camouflage. And I just like the idea of a flying chameleon with a giant tongue in general. It's weak to thunder, so bring a thunder elemental weapon if you can, though I doubt you'll have access to elemental weapons this early in the game. In fact, the Pukei-Pukei is the first monster that will give you access to elemental weapons, that being poison. It has no elements, but it does have poison. It can poison you not with toxic poison, but with just regular poison, which is a step down, but it's still kind of an annoyance. So make sure that you're fully stocked up on antidotes in order to counteract the poison if you get hit with it. I know I get hit with it a couple times in this video. Also, here's another note for you. The animation for you drinking an antidote is I want to say a couple seconds longer than the animation for drinking a potion. So just be wary of that when you start trying to cure the poison that it will most likely inflict on you. For the breaks, you can break its head, feet, and wings. I also think you can break its talons as well. As I said before, this will be the first monster that will give you poison elemental weapons, which is nice. Poison is a debuff where if you put it on a monster, it will chip away at its HP over time. It's great for like chipping down large monsters with huge HP pools. And if you ever played some of the older Monster Hunter games like Freedom Unite, oh, you would know the pain of large HP pool monsters. Something else to note about the Pukei-Pukei is it will flee if there's another large monster in the area. So if a Rathalos comes or a Great Jagras comes, it doesn't matter, just any large monster, it will run away because it does not like dealing with other monsters in its same area. Another thing to be mindful is that it'll spit poison clouds, and those poison clouds have a bit of AoE and staying time. So what I would do is just be patient and be very, very, very mindful of where the poison clouds are and how long it'll take for them to dissipate. I know it impedes your movement a little bit and your positioning with how you attack with your weapons, but just be mindful of that because you don't want to get poisoned. Because you'll notice that the health bar starting out isn't that great because you don't have access to the higher tier food buffs quite yet. So yeah, that's about all the notes that I have for the Pukei-Pukei. Just as a general overview, 1, make sure you're fully stocked up on antidotes. 2, be very, very wary of the AoE poison clouds. 3, always make sure that you know the proper spacing for the Pukei-Pukei's attack. Because one final thing that I will mention is that the Pukei-Pukei's attacks, some of them are long-ranged, and some of them are really, really quick. So you just have to be really mindful of your positioning and time your dodge rolls perfectly, because some of those hitboxes are a little janky. Alright, so with that out of the way, we can finally get back to what's important, pulverizing this Pukei-Pukei. There's the AoE poison I was talking about. Yeah. Here's a tip. When there's two monsters in one area at the same time, you want the highest ground possible, so it'll take more time for the monsters to actually get to you. Yeah, I was just playing it kind of safe here and waiting for the situation to diffuse a little bit. And there you see it. It leaves because it doesn't like other monsters being in its area. Which I can understand. If I was a giant flying lizard, I could understand people getting up in my crib. I want to stress something. I want to stress that I haven't really developed my commentary skills all that much, so I apologize if I sound awkward or boring at times. I'm still working on it, though. I'm working hard at it. One of these days, I'll get really good at it, too. It'll just be second nature. And there's that Rathalos I was talking about, I was like, oh, hell no. Yeah, it's a good idea to just sit back and watch what the Rathalos does. I mean, you could kill it if you want. Like, if you're some good, crazy player that has a bunch of time on their hands. And you do have an infinite whetstone, so it is a little more possible than it was to get an early kill on a Rathalos. And heck, this hammer gives you a little bit of green sharpness to work with, so you won't be bouncing off everywhere on the Rathalos. You'll be just bouncing off some places. I lose track of the Pukei-Pukei here a little bit, but it's only for a couple minutes. Now, I should mention what you just saw right there is someone else's feline. And that's another cool feature about this game, is that randomly felines can join you on your quest and help you. This particular feline is a Japanese feline. So that's cool. Definitely cool. Another interesting thing is that this time around Capcom chose to not region lock players out. So if you're American, you can play with Japanese people. If you're Japanese, you can play with American people. I don't know why Capcom chose to region lock previous Monster Hunter games. It's probably something we'll never know. Gosh, I really just love the ancient forest when it's all glossy and rainy like this. Oh yeah, one thing that I didn't mention in the bio is that I don't think the Pukei-Pukei has the capability to do this itself, but it will sweep up pollen, I think, from plants, and that pollen will make you sleepy. And if you stay in those pollen clouds for too long, you'll get afflicted with the sleep status, and you'll be immobile for a couple of seconds, possibly making you vulnerable to free hits for the Pukei-Pukei. Yeah, if you guys have any tips for me on how to get better at commentary, feel free to post them down in the comments. I know one of my bad habits is saying a lot of the times. I don't use scripts because I like my videos to feel a lot more natural. And with a script, it's just kind of forced like that. Yeah, I just like the more natural feeling of an unscripted commentary. Because you get some gems that will be thrown in occasionally. Ooh, that one looked like it hurt. It's got like little Pikachu dimples on its face for some reason. Pukei-Pukei's design is a little wacky, but I love it. Oh, and one more thing that I forgot to mention, jeez, I'm forgetting a lot of things today, is that the Pukei-Pukei has a roar that will actually stun you. This is the first monster that does this besides the Rathalos. You can block that with earplugs. You don't need high-grade earplugs, just regular earplugs will do. But you probably won't have earplugs this early in the game. Just letting you know, earplugs allow you to negate roars from monsters. Just taking my time to gather the honey. And do I get the hammer flip? No, I don't get the hammer flip. Of course I don't, because this game doesn't want me to have cool things. Aw, screw you, game. I got poisoned. And knocked out. Gotta love that Vigor Wasp, though. Poisoned and stun. Again. Yay. But it's limping now, so we got it on the ropes. Not too much left in it. Yeah, the Vigor Wasp that the felines use is pretty much like a healing horn. No, it is a healing horn, basically. Take our ration to make sure that we don't get low on stamina. And I think this is where it goes to sleep, if memory serves me correct. Now, you see these little white flowers all around you? This is what causes the pollen. Or it might be the little bugs that fly around the Pukei-Pukei that when you destroy the bugs, you go to sleep. I thought I would get a mount there, but no. Good indicator to know whether you're almost falling asleep or not is how fast that purple circle pulses. If you get caught up in that cloud, just roll away from it. It's no big deal. It's not like the poison cloud where if you instantly touch it, you instantly get poisoned. Take a moment to sharpen here. Accidentally use the wheel instead of using the item roll. And there's that long-range tongue attack that I was talking about earlier. I take it back. The Pukei-Pukei's hitboxes aren't actually that janky, although there might be one or two exceptions. My info is correct, though. I made sure of that. Oh, its tail gets puffed up whenever it gets mad. That's something I didn't notice before. Cool. Cool. I wonder if you can probably throw a flash bomb when it flies in the air like that to knock it down. I love how, like, meaty the second hit is in that hammer combo. And there we go! We bashed its skull in. Done job. Too easy. That's one mutant lizard wyvern down. Scale? Yeah, no, shell. And another shell. And a scale. Nice. You'll probably grind the Pukei-Pukei off screen a little more for its hammer. The poisonous hammer that we're gonna get. Because having a debuff pretty early in the game is pretty nice. Just makes hunts go by that much quicker. Quest complete. Very nice job. Let's check out our loot, shall we? Scale. Bones, armor spear, and more bones. Cool. Oh, and you can also see that this is probably the first efficient source of monster bones, medium size, that you'll get. Palico almost got a level out of that. And the Vigor Wasp spray level up, so that's more HP healed. Nothing stopped this commission. Earned the right to take on 3-star assignments. Fantastic. I'd say that's a done job, wouldn't you? I think I did fine work. Wait, I'll hold my tongue on this one. Yeah, excellent work putting down that Pukei-Pukei. I knew I put the task in the right hands. Just to catch you up, we're hot on the trail of Zora Magdaros now.
And listen up.
But there's more to figure out. I need the 5th to protect our scholars while they investigate. I like his clothes, by the way. I'm putting you in charge of the Wild Spire Waste. The quest will begin once you've convened on site. So, ooh, that's exciting. Next episode, we'll get to go to a new area.
Make sure you know what you need to do.
And from the name, I'm just going to infer that we'll need cool drinks, I think. But I think that wraps it up for this episode. I'm still working on my commentary chops, but they're getting better. They're definitely getting better. I just need to work on not saying as much. Here I go and check what material is required to upgrade my hammer into the poisonous hammer. I've tried to get the iron hammer, or the next upgrade in the iron series of hammers, but the material that we lack is actually an earthen crystal, and if I had to take a guess, we're going to get earthen crystals in the next area. They're not... Well, they're still kind of common, but they're not very common. They're another very handy starter material that you'll find yourself using quite a lot. Takes some Pukei-Pukei quills, some scales, and the poison sac, which I didn't get poison sacs this time, but I think next time I will, though. What do I mean next time? Off screen, so yeah, I probably will finish that off. But that's my goal for now. The Pukei-Pukei hammer kind of looks like the Kurapeko hammer. And I think that's a nice little design touch. It might be a callback, it might not be. And as for the rest of the hammer tree, we haven't figured out what other materials we might need. Some of it takes Kulu-Yaku, others take bones. Yeah, we'll be discovering a lot of the stuff as we just go along. I keep exiting out of stuff right when I'm about to say, yeah, I'll cut, because you don't want to probably see this menuing. Just my luck, isn't it? I go and check out this place, but we're not allowed to access it just quite yet. That probably becomes available a little bit later. I like the stewardess in this game. So with that done, let's say we go back home and review what we did this episode. So, this episode we hunted a Pukei-Pukei, went over the stats for the Kulu-Yaku, went over the stats for the Pukei-Pukei itself. I'm sorry for the stuttering. We found out that the next area we're going to go to is the Wild Spire Wastes. And by next episode, we should have ourselves a brand new, shiny, poisonous Pukei-Pukei hammer. This has been Nightshade, and I thank you for watching. See you next time, ladies and gentlemen. Bye-bye.